welcome to the Out in Westchester podcast. This week we are coming to you from Bar'Lees at 157 Mamaroneck Avenue in Mamaroneck, New York. Visit them online, brand new website, Bar'Lees NY. That's spelled BARLEESNY.com. My name is Frank Pellegrino, and I'm joined by my incredible co-host, as always, Liz Wadolski.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Liz. How you doing?
Hello. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes,
Thank you for having us.
Woo! Excited to be here.
We are joined by two guests right now. Mr. John Lovelett,
Hi there.
the owner of Bar'Lees here, right here in Mamaroneck.
Thank you.
The new owner.
The new
owner.
As of August 26th.
Congratulations.
Who was the previous owner?
His name was Colin Goundry, wonderful Australian guy, and he, worked there for about 7 or 8 years, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Opened the
And
place.
made this place into the beautiful place that it is. Built it from scratch. Got the live music concept going, and he decided to do something different. He's up in the Berkshires now.
Oh, just doing his thing.
Living the dream. He's opening up a bakery. Actually, he wanted to do morning hours. So.
Did you know him previously? Did you work with him or anything?
No,
Any
I was
associates?
sitting in my office in Charlotte, North Carolina. I had gotten relocated down there about 3 years ago for work. Totally different industry, financial services, software development. And I just was bored of it. I've been doing it for 20 years. I just literally got on my computer and I started looking upscale wine bars for sale, live music venues for sale, bed and breakfast. Like I was kind of in this mode because this is something I've always had a sort of a passion about. And I found Colin on the one of those broker sites.
Craigslist.
And
No.
I don't think it was. I can't remember what it was. And he's like, yeah, I'm selling the place. I can't do an Aussie accent, but he did it in his really cool Aussie accent.
Yeah.
Drove up, I flew up from Charlotte, met him, and I was like, this is it. This is the one. I knew it right when I walked in.
I've got so many questions for you, but
Right?
before I get into it, I've got to introduce a very special guest.
Oh my
I'm so
gosh.
excited to have this guy here.
Singer,
He's got an incredible
songwriter,
voice.
incredible.
Yeah. Christopher Brown is here.
Hello.
Christopher Brown Music.
Exactly.
ChristopherBrownMusic.com. Check him out. cb@cbonline.net if you want to get in contact with him. October 5th at Brody's Mohegan Lake. October 6th, Palea
Winery.
I said it right. Palea Winery in Highland Mills. And then October 19th, big show, Town Crier in Beacon, New York.
That's where
Also,
I'm from. You're playing the Town Crier?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
with
amazing.
the Bookends band.
Oh, that's
Bookends,
incredible.
that's
Yeah.
right.
My cover band.
His album, the Brown album, was just released 2 weeks ago. So when you get a chance, go online, go to iTunes, Spotify, anywhere you can get an album or listen to it. Check it out.
He's also coming back here on Halloween, right?
Halloween, yeah.
Yeah.
I told
October
him that.
31st.
So
That's
awesome.
right.
Yeah. We're gonna. He's got to learn Monster Mash. I told him.
Oh, God. He's going to learn it and then very quickly, hopefully forget it. Jesus.
one night only.
Yeah. So thank you guys for both being here.
Red
This is
Red
great.
Hood with the Halloween.
Oh, you do?
That's a
Oh, I
costume
like that.
party, right?
All right.
It's got to be a costume
We're
party.
gonna go crazy with this place. Yeah.
All right.
Can you
Great.
pull that closer to you, the
Cobwebs
mic?
and everything.
Yeah. So you just, I guess, continued. Did this place close at all?
No, we kept it going.
You kept it going.
I was considering a complete sort of shutdown because there were some things that we've been talking about doing, like enhancements, like big like putting in craft beer on tap, and that would have required a shutdown.
Right.
But we decided we're gonna keep it going and then add those things, through the normal course of business. We've already started doing little updates to the cocktail list, to the menu. Adding live music on every Thursday night, which Chris is excited because he likes playing on Thursdays. So, and then the bigger, more sort of infrastructure-y stuff, probably maybe 6 months down the road, we'll get that in there.
And was this Bar'Lees before you came in, or you changed the name?
It was Bar'Lees,
Yeah,
so
it's
that
been
was
Bar'Lees.
Colin's. So it's an Aussie sort of a slang term. You say like, if he's listening to this, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's like you take a timeout, like it's like a Bar'Lees, you take a timeout. So he took that and made it into a funky bar/lease term.
So there's nobody named Lee.
No Lee.
That's
no.
what I kind of
Bar'Lees.
thought. Where there's somebody named Lee. An Australian guy or girl could be named Lee.
Could, yeah.
Yeah,
could
but
be.
not.
No.
That's not what happened here. Okay.
So right now I love. I mean, this place has such a great following. People love it. They associate it with the music. I've told Chris I want him to be just the everyday cover band, but he's he's got other things to do. But so what
Around, John.
would I change the name? I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet. I kind of like my last name, Lovelett. Be kind of a neat name.
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Lovelett Bar?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
But for now,
Lounge? Lovelett Lounge?
yeah, we let love in, right?
Yeah.
I like love. I
I
like
like that.
Lovelett Lounge
Yeah.
a lot.
Lovelett Lounge is a
Yeah.
great name.
Yeah. So I don't know, thinking about it, but right now I love everything about it, and I just want to build on everything that is great and wonderful about this place.
I know, look at it. He's
Is
so
there
excited.
one thing?
Shows.
I got a big question for you, and I hope you don't mind.
Go for it.
August, you came in. How many weeks was it kind of like a transition period?
So I was actually, Colin was great. He actually hired me as a bartender before the close. So I was working the floor all through, like pretty much from July through August, after we kind of decided that we handshook the deal. And while we were doing all of the contract work and all that sort of stuff, I was making cocktails, running plates, and washing dishes.
You got like a crash
Getting
course on.
everything.
Yeah, I mean, I learned
Knowing
everything.
the place inside and
good.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't realize. I mean, the back office stuff, the accounting, the marketing, the Facebook up. I'll be a whiz at that, right? It's the stuff out here that these guys do that's really hard. The cocktails that Janet makes are phenomenal. I've got to get better. I want to get better at that so I can do that stuff too, because I love being out here and talking to people and hanging out, and so it's what Kelly does in the kitchen and what Janet does out here is the stuff that I've got to learn. I want to learn more about it and ingrain myself in
But
that.
the part that you're doing out here is so important. You do it so well.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
No, that's really nice to say. Thanks.
So during that crash course that you had, was there anything that obviously there's probably so many things that you're like, oh my god, I didn't know about this, about that. If money was not an object, what is one thing you would absolutely change tomorrow if you could? One thing in this place, whether it's physical or operational or something like that. What's
That's a
one
really,
thing?
really good question. I would like to be able to have live entertainment 7 days a week. Like literally every day, you come here and there's going to be someone singing you a song, or if it's not a band, it it could be even something like that we do some open mic type stuff. Or,
Right, exactly.
the talent you have to pay though, it's expensive. I mean,
Right. Right.
he's worth it because he always brings a lot of people that follow him. But if I can get there, that's what this will be. If you walk into Bar'Lees, you got live music going. If it's a jazz trio, if it's whatever,
They used to do an open mic on Thursdays.
Yeah, we're keeping that every
You are keeping that.
rotating Wednesday. That does
Every
well
other
for
Wednesday.
us.
Okay.
And then we're and then maybe like the other thing was a Sunday. All day we're open. You come in, you get brunch, you get jazz, you get I don't like that we're closed, but we do it for specific reasons,
Right.
Budget wise and
Jazz
and
brunch is
menu
great.
wise and that kind of stuff. But that's kind of I want to be open all the time.
Now, piggybacking off of that, Chris, what's it like for you as an artist and musician to hear a restaurant owner so passionate about having live music in their venue?
Yeah. It was just
It's refreshing.
couldn't tell by the big smile on my face.
Oh, I saw it.
Yeah. Yeah.
As soon as he started saying that, it starts going like, yes,
no,
here we go.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And this place, that was the reputation. It was so funny when Colin left, and then I think I was one of the first gigs here
You literally were the first one. Yeah.
with you, and so all the musicians were calling me, how's the new guy? I said, he seems really nice. I think this is going to be okay.
There's so many places that have decided to not do music anymore because of the expense
really.
that it is. But
Yeah.
I think music really does bring Westchester out. People want to go and hear
Well, this
jazz
place
or
has
live
such a
music and
special
if you
vibe.
did a theme night each night, maybe it's
I love
like
the
Sunday
idea.
jazz.
I love the idea.
Singer songwriter on Monday, Wednesday,
Because then
Tuesdays
people
like
associate
karaoke.
those days with those,
Right.
and then
So
you bring in those
there's a
people.
schedule, and
Yeah.
people sort of know, like, oh, let's Tuesday night, let's go sing karaoke and have dinner at Bar'Lees.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
I was saying like the other day, you got to meet Janet soon. She's back there. We were talking, and how many nights I can tell you that someone has come in here to say, well, we're just grabbing a glass of wine, we're going home early, and then there's a band 3 hours later, they're still here,
Absolutely.
like singing and dancing,
Yeah.
and like that's the best thing.
That's great.
I came in here Saturday, and you had Faded Vinyl playing.
How great were they?
They were great. And
Oh
I
my
was
God,
like,
that
I know
was
this
great.
band, and I was hanging out, and then you were just all over the restaurant, happy, smiling. And I said,
Did he get up and sing?
Are you John? I just knew it because he was acting like I would act if I owned the place.
Yeah, I have
Just
a ball.
introducing himself to every table, just making sure everybody was comfortable and if they were enjoying themselves. And,
Yeah, I love it. It's just
Yeah.
John, do you sing?
Yes.
He's let me.
He does.
How is he?
No,
He's good.
It's not good. It's not good.
And Janet.
She, our
Really?
bartender, is amazing.
Really?
She gets
Yeah.
up with Chris. Is the talent that lets the non-professionals join him, much to his dismay, probably.
How about like a mixology night where Janet sort of teaches people how to make craft cocktails or something?
You want
That's
to
really interesting.
comment
Yeah.
on that?
That would be interesting. We'll talk about that later.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, there's so many creative things you could think about doing to bring people in.
Yeah, I mean, we do it sort of off the cuff now. Last night we had a group in here, and she was trying a really interesting cocktail with bourbon. I think was it tea, matcha in there, or?
Like I had my apple bourbon infused.
Oh yeah. And we made little bits of it and pass it around just to get the feedback
Right,
of the place,
right,
and
right.
of course everyone's like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" So we do that, and then if everyone likes it, we put it on the menu. And another interesting side note is Chris is also a graphic design artist who has redesigned our menu. So when we drop the new menu with the new cocktails, it'll be courtesy of our
So it's a new cocktail list coming out,
New
right?
cocktail list
you
coming,
have
some
a
new-
wine list.
new rotating wines by the glass, and some updated menu items for the
Menu
kitchen.
items.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be fun with a new look and feel and all sorts of fun stuff.
I really like the artwork that's all around too. Was this here when you came in, or you brought these in?
Yeah, that was a lot of money. Yeah, it's a French. I think it's a French Canadian, Vincent Cordo. All originals. Colin fell in love with it, and a lot of people commented that a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
So I decided to keep it, and yeah, I think it's interesting. It's beautiful. It's
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
If I was gonna redesign, I don't think I would be able to, leave.
Definitely
Now,
keep
did
it.
you have to pay additional to keep those? Like these pieces look like something that he would take with him. If
He
you know
wanted
what I
to
mean?
take them.
He
Yeah.
did.
And I was just too scared to. I'm like, I can't even think about how to redesign this place. Like, I got to learn how to make an old fashioned. Like, for Christ's sake. So I'm like,
It's like, listen, the business will cost you $50. The artwork, it's going to be a little bit more.
Yeah. So we did actually. They're his personal collection. So we did a deal together.
Nice, that's great.
And it was great. I was so happy to do that.
So you moved up here from North Carolina.
Yeah, so I was in New York City for 15 years at my working in my corporate job. They relocated me down to Charlotte. I was there for 3.5 years, and then I just, great, loved it, great work, challenging, all of that. I just, I decided it was time to do something like this.
Cool.
And then I just did it.
It's a big jump.
It is a really big jump. Were you nervous at all?
Terrified. I'm still terrified. I'm terrified right now. I'm always scared. I wake up texting myself in the middle of the night, like, don't
What
forget
have you
this,
done?
don't forget this.
Oh, okay. You have a list going.
Yeah.
That's good.
But
That's
no, I couldn't be happy. I am working harder than I've ever worked.
good. Of course.
And each day it's like it's 15 different things. Like you're doing accounting, you're doing marketing, you're doing operations, you're buying beer. Janet bought a lot of beer today.
You're a business owner.
For her or for the place?
Welcome to being a business owner.
Yeah, you gotta
Wear every hat.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
it's just
Wait till he sees the bill.
Now, there's one thing I need you to try and do for me.
Okay.
I know you're new, but I noticed this as soon as I got here. This is the 5th parking app I've had to download for places in Westchester County. Can we do anything about
it's
this?
killing me. Like
I have 5.
and people come in and they're like, I'd love to stay. Can I get 9,000 quarters because I
Yeah.
want to stay
Yeah,
and hang out
right.
longer? And if they don't have the app, they're doing the change, and then we run out of quarters. It is hard. Parking is not good.
The
around
app
here.
sucks. Do you have the app?
It's horrible.
It's terrible.
I feel bad. I mean, no
No,
offense
terrible.
to.
I've got one for
Absolutely.
White Plains, Tarrytown. I've got the pay and go for everywhere else.
I just
What do you
stop
do
at
when
the
you come here? Do you
corners.
park or
That's all I
do you
do.
walk? Like, where are you? Are you
No, I
close
park.
enough?
Right now, I'm on the side here
Yeah,
with
it's-
quarters.
And you got to go out. And
I didn't do the app. I can't.
Oh, man,
Us
it's
older guys.
terrible.
Yeah,
It takes forever to download. You got to put your information
Yeah.
in. You got to confirm everything. It's like by the time you do it, you're 10 minutes late for what you were trying
I'm
to
getting
do.
tired of my information being everywhere.
Yeah.
I know.
You know.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something we got to work on.
They got to
Yeah.
get one app. One app for the state. Or the county.
county.
But let you park for more than 2 hours too. Like let you park
Yeah.
for 4 hours if
It's-
you want,
it's
without
crazy.
renewing it.
It's too
All
much.
right.
Yeah.
We're doing that.
That's louder than you think.
Sorry.
Wow.
And they took that parking space, that second one, and that used to be in the front
Oh yeah.
before you.
Yeah,
got
they
there.
did. Yeah,
yeah.
which is annoying too.
Yeah,
All
very
right,
annoying.
we're gonna.
Occasionally, I got
We
lucky.
got to
work
look
on
into
that.
this app thing.
Yeah,
This
let's get on
parking
that.
thing. Let's
Yeah.
talk to
I think
who's in charge
Chris
of the camera?
Brown
I
has
don't
a
know.
lot of pull in Mamaroneck.
No,
Yeah.
oh, please.
Yes, absolutely.
Can you give the mayor a call, maybe?
That might be the funniest thing I've ever heard.
Chris, you were born and raised.
in Mamaroneck?
Pelham?
No, I wasn't. I was in Pelham.
You were in Pelham.
Aha.
Okay.
Yes,
but you lived
and
in
then I
Mamaroneck,
moved to
yeah.
Newark, and I moved. I think I've been here for about 25 years.
Okay.
Wow.
Always as a musician?
Yes, musician and
Singer-songwriter?
artist.
And
Yeah.
artist.
Yeah.
Do
You got to
paint?
see the illustrations he drew.
I'm a
Graphic
illustrator,
artist?
graphics, animator.
But known for being an amazing musician, songwriter. Is the Brown album your first album?
No, it's my fifth album.
Fifth album.
What was the difference between in the process from your previous albums and this one that just came out?
Well, one of the big differences was that I did a lot of the production myself. You know, I learned how to record finally, and I've been doing this for years, trying to hone the skills. And I finally
You do the production yourself?
on some of the songs, yeah, not all of it, but I did.
Do you have a little studio?
Yeah.
I'm interviewing.
No,
you.
no.
You can
Do whatever you want.
Thank you.
My question is a Liz
conversation.
question.
Yes.
It's a conversation.
Right now, the tools are so it's like everything else. You can do anything now.
It's amazing what you can do yourself.
Yes, right,
You know, like
right.
I was going to ask you where you recorded the last album, the Brown album.
Well, it was recorded in 3 places. You know, some songs were at my house, some were at a studio in Bronxville called The Loft, great studio in Bronxville with a guy named Al Hamburger. And then there was a studio in the Bronx with my friend Lincoln Schleifer called the Log Cabin Studio, or Lincoln's Log Cabin Studio. And so yeah.
Are there a lot of studios that singer-songwriters can record albums at? I mean, is there a handful of them?
I don't know how I know that's all changing.
Yeah.
You know, I know that the Loft is one of the last big studios that I've seen that is.
Because there were a bunch, and I know a bunch of them closed.
Yeah, because you can do it so much.
You can do it just with
Yeah.
a computer now, right?
Right,
Right on
and
your own.
and really
it's
good
incredible.
stuff.
Like
Yeah.
the power that you
Yourself.
have yourself.
Yeah.
Like even our website, I can do all of the updates myself because it's all set up as a template
Oh, yeah.
and everything. You know, I don't have to pay someone every single time.
Well,
It's amazing.
once in I think it was must have been around 2000. I was recording in one of the best studios in the country, and then the budget dried up, and then we ended up doing the second half of the project in a home studio of my guitar player, and you cannot hear the difference between what was in one of the top studios in the country and what was the home studio. So that's when I realized things have changed.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how did you get started being a musician? What was your inspiration? How did you know as a little boy, this is it? I have to be a musician.
Did you just listen to your voice in the mirror, or like looking and talking to yourself? You said, "I sound like Johnny Cash. Like I have to be."
No. Well, to answer your question, I mean, it's my father sang and played guitar,
Okay.
and he loved it, and he looked so, that's how I liked him best, when he was singing and playing, and so that was it was in us, I think. And the other thing is, you try a lot of stuff, and I loved music was the thing I loved most when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
And then you try a lot of stuff, and this was the job that people applauded for, and I said, well,
That's right.
yeah,
That's great.
you don't get too many jobs where they applaud. So I hate to think it was that simple, but it might have been.
That's fantastic.
Did you have a favorite artist when you were young growing up that you would always sort of be like, I'm going to...
Yes,
the guy who
yeah.
imitated my
Well,
grandmother.
The first music that I learned was the Irish songs that my dad used to listen to, and I used to love that stuff, the folk songs, Clancy Brothers.
Those are always fun.
Yeah. And then, around high school, I started getting into the singer-songwriters, the Cat Stevens, Harry Chapin. I loved that, storytellers, and so I started doing that kind of music.
Right.
So I would say, yeah, and then, as I got older.
Did you ever play with your dad?
We used to call him up in the beginning days of when I was playing. I'd call him up to do a couple of songs. He would do like the Fox. The Fox went out on a chilly night for the Lord, and he would do San Francisco Bay Blues. He was great. He was very good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the Beatles were a big inspiration for you.
Yeah, but the thing with those, so much of the pop, I did have a low voice. I had a low voice when I was young, and we didn't know about Johnny Cash, and we just didn't know what was on the radio.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sing anything on the radio. And Beatles were all high voices. All the pop songs of the day were high voices. So it really was frustrating. I never knew I could sing until I got away from that stuff.
It was funny because he was here one night and he let me come up to do a song with him, and I chose Lola. And I get nervous, so I ask him, I'm like, you got to help me out here. And he's like, I can't hit that note. He's like, you got to, because it's like, it goes up, like, at a certain point. I mean,
that Lola's a tough one.
Yeah.
And, you can't play the songs in like a lower key?
I did, when you're young, I didn't know. I mean, I didn't even know I couldn't even play. I was just, it was like when the Beatles were big, I was a kid, and you sing with the radio, and if you can't sing, you think you can't sing.
Right.
I didn't know anything about playing guitar, or transposing, but once I got over that hump, everything was okay.
Okay.
Have you seen Chris?
Oh, yeah.
He's
I've
awesome.
seen him.
Awesome. I mean, people come from. We have a group that comes here every time he's here from Long Island, then another group from Brewster, just to come see him sing. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, he's got a great following.
Yeah.
But you don't just play solo. You play. I saw you with the trio,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
I think you play with a duo, right? You and another.
Yeah, I play. I've got different combinations, different musicians over the years that that I know well enough that we can go out and do
You
a
just call
pretty
it-
good night. One of the main ones is the band Bookends,
Yeah.
which I started in when I was in college.
Right.
So that was, I think my first gig with Bookends was '76. There,
Right.
I said it.
And you've been playing Westchester.
Yes,
since
and
76.
for a lot of people, because that band had a big following, and
Still does.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does.
And for a lot of people, it's nostalgic. It's like
Was that the Simon? Was the name because of the Simon and Garfunkel?
not really,
No?
no. And it's because it started with two of us,
Right.
so it would have made perfect sense. And it was a guy with a high voice that sang harmony to me, and
Which is like exactly. Like
yeah,
very
but
similar.
it really wasn't that. I could bore you with what it was, but it was.
Chris, take us back to '76. You were in Westchester.
Yes.
What was the place that you had your first gig?
It was a place in, my first time singing in front of people was Iona College in a pub.
Go Gales.
Which pub?
Yeah.
It was, they had their,
They had a lot of bars there for a long time.
yeah, but no, this was in the college. They used to do, in those days you could drink and have beer and wine in the pub. And I went up on the break of the band that was playing. And I tried an Irish song, and I tried Mr. Bojangles, and people applauded, and I think it was a life-changing moment for me. So. And then my first gig, when I put something together, was at a place in New Rochelle called Beau Brummel's.
Beau Brummel's.
Yeah.
Where was that?
That was at the on Huguenot and North. That's,
Okay.
there's a big K building there. It's the base of where the K building was.
Okay, so downtown New Rochelle.
Yeah,
Right there.
and it's not hasn't. I mean, it closed years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Do you remember? Did you get paid for it?
yes,
How
yeah,
much?
because we drew from the guy that I was singing with. From day one, we drew people, and in those days, people were always looking for a place to go. So everywhere we went, we had big crowds. It got tougher as you get older, but in those days, everyone's out having a great time.
So your first gig, you got paid.
Yes,
That's incredible.
yeah.
That's awesome.
50
How
bucks.
much was the thing?
The sad fact is that it hasn't changed much money-wise for
No, it has
for the
not
musicians.
gone up with
Yeah.
everything else.
Now, if you play weddings, it does, country clubs, everything else is good. But the bar life for the musician is about it hasn't really changed all that much. It's a little better, but
Yeah. Wow. That's
But-
incredible. Now,
maybe it was just very good back then. We don't know.
But when you're younger, you don't really care. You don't need all that much money.
Yeah.
It's just cool that someone, just to get paid to play your music. Like,
Well,
that's got to feel good.
It was a way that I wasn't very good at, as I've said, at expressing myself in conversation. But when I got up there, I could I could let it all out, and it was very therapeutic for me. It still is.
See, I talked to my dad. Is a guitar player, singer. He was in a band when he was in high school. I think they called themselves the Taconics because they played little gigs on the Taconic Park.
oh, that's funny.
It's
a good name.
But he doesn't like to and I'm like, you gotta come here and do a thing, and he's like, no, I just enjoy playing. I'm like, you're just playing in my old bedroom, like by yourself, and he's like, oh, I just like learning the finger picking.
It's
like,
terrifying.
I think that's what he
yeah.
feels, but he loves just doing it. Like it's satisfying enough just learning it and playing it by himself that he finds enjoyment doing that. And I'm different. I'm like, if I'm gonna learn something, like I want to do it. I don't know. I want to do it in front of people.
Right.
But because that would be to me that's the quintessential moment where you've learned something and now you're showing the world.
Well, that's what
Well,
you're doing
what I
now with your restaurant, too, though.
Yeah.
Right?
But I could see you are that way just by the way when you get up to sing in front. I could see that's who you are. You're a performer.
Do you
at
get
heart.
nervous when again I'm interviewing?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you get nervous when you anymore? You can't get nervous anymore.
For the most part, I don't. I get nervous when I'm playing something new,
Yeah.
or some nights I can't figure out how to manage it, and I get a little nervous. But for the most part, I mean, I'm over it now. But it took a long time.
Because there was a night
Yeah.
this woman was just a patron sitting here having a martini, and came up and did a song with Chris. It was like the most. You couldn't believe that they hadn't played together for years.
Did you know her?
No, I didn't know. Never.
Do you remember the night?
Yeah.
And you said at the end, you're your toughest critic. You're like, you apologized to her. You're like, I'm sorry, I just couldn't keep up with that. And everyone in the place is like, what is he talking about?
She
That was
so
incredible.
Good.
Like,
Yeah.
it was like such a. That's why I got into this business for like moments like that.
What was
like
the song?
Moments like that.
Midnight Train to Georgia, and she definitely had the chops for it. She was great.
Oh, she killed it.
Yeah.
What was your
Yeah.
first song that you ever wrote?
Well, the first song I ever wrote was Fire and Rain with different words. A song called. It was exact melody.
The James Taylor.
I wrote a song called Maybe that was exactly Fire and Rain. So.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So no, it was embarrassing. A friend takes you aside.
But that's a beautiful
But
melody.
the first song that one of the first songs I wrote, I'd say certainly one of the first two, was one that turned out to be one of the most popular tunes of Bookends, and it's still people ask for it. It's a good, ridiculous song called "What a Waste of a Pretty Face." But it was it's funny.
What a waste of a pretty face.
Yeah, it was an angry reaction to being dumped in a relationship.
So wait, was the song about you or about her?
No, I was writing it about her.
Okay.
She deserves
it could be
a
all
much
about
better
him.
song than that. Looking back, I'm very embarrassed with the whole thing. But the reason I mentioned it because I had no idea what I was doing, but yet it still seems to resonate somehow, at least on a
So
nostalgic.
are you a poet? Like, do you write the words first and then you come up with the melody, or is it just you have melodies and then you're like, oh, let me write some lyrics to this melody?
I wish I could tell you a process. I know some writers have a writing process, and I always imagine them sitting down deciding they're going to write and then just going through the process and then 2 hours later having a song. I don't work that way. It's very haphazard. Inspiration comes, and you wrestle with it, and
Do you ever find yourself waking up at night and writing
Yes,
yourself a note,
yeah.
like or something? I
Yeah.
do that all the time.
yeah. So I
Not music-wise, but
and sometimes it come easy, and sometimes you struggle for. There's a song on the new album called "The Gypsy Girl."
Yeah.
I must have had that song going in my head different ways for 5 years, and finally, wrestled
came
it.
together.
Yeah.
I know. I just saw an interview with Paul McCartney,
The Howard Stern one or the?
No, the one, I don't know, one of the late night talk show guys.
Okay.
And he was saying that when he wrote Yesterday, he just woke up and he
came in a
had
dream.
it. And he kept on saying, what song is this?
Yeah.
Because they used to play a lot of covers, like American covers. And he kept on, John, what song is this? Yesterday, da-da-da-da-da-da. And John's like, I don't know what song that is. And he asked his father because he played with his dad too. His dad was an inspiration for him.
Yeah.
They'd all sit around and sing, at family parties. And he said, he asked his family, what is this song? Is it a song that we've played growing up and it's just in the back of my head?
Yeah.
And everybody said no. So then he's like, well, I guess it's my song. And then he just, Yesterday, and that was it. He just took off.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
Think about the end product of that.
Well, that's the
He
thing.
honestly didn't think it was his original.
Well, I could see you
Yeah.
don't know because sometimes, poor George probably thought he had the same thing with My Sweet Lord, but it turned out it wasn't original. He wasn't copying
Parallel
it.
thinking.
Yeah, it turned out, he got sued because it was, everything comes from somewhere.
Right.
Right. That's
And-
right. With music, isn't that almost known? Like, don't some artists, like, I remember my friend telling me this term, like sampling, like you'll have a song and you'll hear a little bit of another song that you reference, but as long as it's not, like, you can kind of tell, like, you can't create a brand new melody every single time, right?
No, but some people, I do think there are geniuses. When I watched that Mozart movie, that
Amadeus, that one, yeah.
I just watched a movie on Van Gogh, which was a fantastic movie, but same thing. They're getting signals from somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly.
And and that's a different kind of art. But a lot of the pop song or popular songwriters, I think. And I'm not saying it in a bad way. I think we all,
Yeah.
it's a number of influences, a number of different songs.
That makes sense.
Do you collaborate with a lot of people? Or is it mostly
No, I don't.
On your previous albums, no?
A couple of songs. I had a very talented guitar player that I worked with at different times, and he produced a couple of projects for me. And I wrote a couple of songs. I brought him, and he changed them enough where they became. But it wasn't like we sat down and did it together.
Right. Right.
I would love to know what that feels like sometimes.
Right.
I haven't figured out how to do that.
We actually have to take a break, but before we do, I see you brought a guitar with you.
Yeah.
Now,
Oh, you're gonna play a song?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
wow!
I
I was
didn't know
going to
that.
lead into it nicely.
Sorry.
My favorite song right now on that new album is This Old Dog.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called, right? Would you mind before we take a break?
Sure. This Old Dog was written after I lost my art job a couple of years back, and this is what came out. Like I said, I didn't know I was writing about it, but it turned out I was. This old dog got a story to tell, and a couple old tricks he still does very well. He comes when you call, can fetch with the best. Like any old dog, you get what you get, and the world keeps spinning around me. This old tree I've watched for a while, kinda sways with the breeze, got great tree style. Dropped a big limb on my old Subaru. I had a big laugh, that's just what old trees do, and the world keeps spinning around. Things you know come and go, the world keeps spinning around me. This old house seen a lot of life, and at least one death. The old owner's first wife, been great for the kids, ate up all my dough, just lost my job. It's time to let it go, and the world keeps spinning around. Things you know come and go, the world keeps spinning around me. Ba-da-ba-da. Da-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba. Boom. Ba-dum. Ba-ba-dum-bum. This old dog, he's got some fight. Still barking up trees, some of them wrong, some of them right. Got a great poker face, and he knows how it goes. You gotta dig deep and trust your nose.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's Christopher Brown. ChristopherBrownMusic.com. Pick up his album, the Brown Album, on iTunes. Listen to it on Spotify. October 5th, he'll be at Bar'Lees in Mamaroneck. October 6th, Palais Winery in Highland Mills. October 19th, Town Crier in Beacon. October 31st, he'll be right here where we are at Bar'Lees, 157 Mamaroneck Avenue, Mamaroneck, New York. Bar'LeesNY.com with John Lovelett. All right, guys, we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. We're back. Oh, well, hold on. All right.
Back.
We are back.
Get back.
We are at Bar'Lees, 157 Mamaroneck Avenue, Mamaroneck, New York. Bar'Lees, BarLeesNY.com. Sitting down with John Lovelett, the owner, and also with incredible singer, songwriter, guitar player Christopher Brown, ChristopherBrownMusic.com. He's going to be at Brody's Mohegan Lake on October 5th, Palais Winery in Highland Mills October 6th, the Town Crier in Beacon, New York, October 19th, and he'll be right here at Bar'Lees on October 31st.
So Bar'Lees has an apostrophe in the middle of it.
I am very confused by this.
Yes,
and
it's BAR'Lees.
But the
Yes.
website doesn't use the apostrophe. So
I'd hope. I don't think you can.
yeah, so just
But
straight up
Facebook does not. So if you're looking
Yeah.
for him on Facebook,
So
Bar'Lees.
Facebook is Bar'Lees NY. The website is barleesny.com, and then Instagram is Bar'Lees NY.
Ah,
so we've
perfect.
gotten rid of the apostrophe and all the.
Does
you
it
have.
make it difficult for people to find you? Because when I heard
absolutely does.
Bar'Lees, I think BARLEY.
it absolutely
It
does.
might be-
It does a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I've looked for them, and I have always, when I type it in, I'm like BARLES, like I
Yeah.
forget the extra E,
Yeah.
I
and
struggle a
something
little
else
bit.
totally comes up.
Yeah,
which is
but
odd.
I'm, you can do things on the internet to just make it, like with Google and stuff, so that you optimize searches so that they land in the right place. So I'm going to be doing a lot of that search engine optimization stuff so that people can find us. Because
It's another hat. There's another hat you got to wear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, being that you've only been here for 2 months and you just started this restaurant, is there like something, like a lesson that you've learned, or something that you're like, man, damn, something when you left the restaurant like one night that you went home and you were struggling with, or there was something that stood out where you're like, I could have handled that differently, or next time that happens, this is what I'm gonna do.
I
Is
think
there a
the
lesson that
biggest
you've learned?
lesson
Yeah.
for me is it's like, what do they say? It's not a foot race. It's a marathon. Like don't focus on just the short game. Like I start to obsess about just how we did on X night. And then if it didn't meet my expectations for that night, I get all stressed out and I think about what do I need to do to change it so tomorrow we bring up, we do better business, we get more people in the door. That's not the game. The game is making this place what I want it to be and what the customers want it to be, and focusing on the long game, the vision, and getting there. Because when we get there and we're doing the things that everyone's been telling, all the customers have been saying they want to see, more rotating wines, like events like fun wine tastings, more live music during the week. When I get there, then the rest is going to happen. I can't just obsess about the short
picture.
game. It's all big picture.
It's all big picture.
Yeah.
You have to always look at what's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, and I inherited something here from the previous owner that works. It's great. There's only upside now. Like, there's only just making it even better and improving on all the things that people love. So I got to focus on that long game.
How about a suggestion box or something like that?
I love it.
Think about it.
Love it.
Put a
actually going to
suggestion
have
box on the
we're dropping
bar?
the website. Actually, officially goes live tomorrow.
Congratulations.
barleysny.com. Oh, it's beautiful too.
Awesome.
It's
So
beautiful.
when this comes out Sunday, because
It'll
we
be
film it, it'll be already be out.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking on the website too, like, collecting feedback from folks, and then, a little box over there or something like that. It's all about, because the best thing about this place is people come back. It's like, it's regular faces that love this place, so you get them giving you input and feedback, and you just do it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you have a lot of locals, a lot of people now in town.
Yeah, I love it. No, I'm like, it's kind of cool.
Right.
I'm getting to know the mayor had an event here the other day. I was hanging out with the mayor. I mean, who does that?
We all do it.
So,
That's important. You got to get to know the mayor of your town.
So it was just nice to, it's nice to get. I literally walk around Mamaroneck Avenue when we're a little bit slower. Yeah. And just talk. All those small business owners just interact, converse, talk. Like, how was your day? What did you? What's going on? Oh, I had a tough day. The shipment didn't come in, and just stuff like that. We're like a little. Feel like I'm part of a family now,
Yeah, and you absolutely are.
Let's talk about the food a bit.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, there's a lot of very unique and interesting flavors and combinations on some of these flatbread pizzas. Mm-hmm. So what was this one that we had? Spinach, it's wild mushrooms?
You had spinach, mushroom, and artichoke on that one, which is wonderful. That's one of our favorites. Then you also had, I think, the caramelized onion, bacon and Gruyere cheese, which is another really, really good pizzas. I mean, the gourmet pizzas here are such a hit. Right. Everyone loves them. Right. There are dedicated pizza places in Westchester County, and people come here for the pizza because it's that good.
And do you have entrees on the menu? I know you're redoing it right now.
Yeah, so the focus is we're going to continue kind of the small plates, tapas style. People come in and they can try a bunch of different things, share the food. You'll always have the pizzas. You'll always have big salads that you can split up, and we're going to be just building on that. So we've got I have my ideas. But what we like doing is coming up with a concept and then having some folks come in, try it if they like it, and if it's a hit, then we'll put it on the menu and see how we do. I want to add a chicken pesto and goat cheese pizza. That's like my favorite. I think that would be fun. Our chef Kelly had an idea for a braised short ribs plate. We want to do something more for vegetarians, so maybe
cauliflower.
Like a cauliflower toast or a Brussels sprout dish.
That would be good.
So So we're just that's the fun part, right? Yeah. And then with the wines, we get local distributors right from Mamaroneck and the surrounding areas coming in, and we try the different wines. And we had two customers in the corner over there that joined us for a wine tasting the other night. That's nice. The beauty of that is you can try stuff. You can buy a couple of cases of it, put it on the menu. If people like it, we continue it. If they don't, I want to just keep rotating and getting people excited about coming here because they're going to try something new and fresh and fun, So
there's a lot of good characteristics in this restaurant, too. Like, I love the columns and the high ceilings and the big windows and your curtains. Do you know, the history of the building?
The building is very old.
Yeah.
I think it's 180 years old or something.
Wow. It's an old building.
Yeah. So all of the columns and the infrastructure and the load-bearing infrastructure is all original. Maybe we could snap some pictures later, but down in the wine cellar, literally, the original tree trunk load-bearing columns are in place down there. The original stone foundation, it's beautiful down there. I bet. It could be a speakeasy type kind of thing. Right now we use it for our wine cellar and those sorts of things, but the space is beautiful. It is an old building. I find myself kind of dealing with the tables wobbling because the floor is a little bit. So we work with that.
What is the capacity in here? How many do you seat?
We do. If every table is full, and the bar is full, I think we're about 43 people.
Yeah, it's small.
It's not a huge venue.
Yeah.
Can I mention one other thing?
Absolutely.
These sound tiles.
Exactly.
They
really
help.
It's a special addition that makes this place, when you play music, it just sounds so beautiful. It absorbs the sound.
Yeah, I find I didn't know a lot about how they work, but you could be playing and I could be standing right next to you, hearing the music and having a conversation with somebody too. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, and it's still...
Those are great.
I've many places I've played that sound horrible, and I always suggest, but
And they give it a punch of color too, which
Yeah.
is kind of nice. Yeah.
And you're right on Mamaroneck Avenue, and there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of like vibrancy going on in Mamaroneck. Have you noticed that, Chris?
yeah, definitely.
I mean, the whole avenue seems to be infused with new restaurants and ice cream, and there used to be a movie theater. I don't think that's there anymore, but there's so much.
They're turning into condos.
Everything that I've driven down here just recently. My girlfriend lives in Mamaroneck by the harbor over here, and you know they put those new condos up that are like multi-million-dollar condos over there. But it seems like there's an energy and there's a lot of new faces and a lot of new people moving into this area, you know. And I see it. I'm like, wow, look at that new restaurant. I mean, do you know how many new places are on this avenue?
I just
at all?
know that. I mean, from the time, 25 years I've been here, it's just been a steady growth and change.
That avenue, amazing.
Yeah, like there's a smokehouse now down there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of new Asian restaurants.
Isn't that, and that movie house is opening again, isn't
I
it?
think I heard
Is it
it's
still open?
reopening. Yeah.
Yeah, it's opening into like an art house or something.
But they're putting
Yeah.
condos on top of it or something?
I
That's what
think yeah, there's something like that going on.
something's
Yeah.
going above
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful.
It's a great. No, I love it. You know, this place next door just opened up the new Italian place, and you know, we again, I got to know some of the folks that work there. You know,
And it's good because it's
they
like a
come
nice
in here for
community, right?
you know, the cocktail
Right.
before dinner. If they want a big Italian dinner, they're going to go there. If they want small plate shareable fare, they come here. You know, it's
and nightly entertainment.
yeah, exactly. Like we have a really good relationship. I love seeing all the stuff popping up. My dad grew up in White Plains. Went to Stepanek High School. I used to work in Purchase for 10 years before I was in the city, so I love this area. I've always loved this area.
Yeah, the area is beautiful. I mean, so the harbor is right over there. They do so many festivals right in the
Incredible.
harbor.
Yeah, beautiful.
Like, just beautiful.
Right. 4th of July fireworks. There's carnivals. There's so much going on
Oh, it's
around
great.
here. Yeah.
It's totally great.
Yeah, I actually love the energy that's in Mamaroneck right now. I
We
mean,
used
Yes.
to play back in the late 70s when Bookends was just starting. We used to play the Ground Round, which is now Sedona.
That was a ground round before,
It's a ground
where you throw
round, yeah.
peanuts on the floor.
Every
And
Saturday.
Applebee's too. I didn't know it was ground.
Yeah, it was a ground
Oh my
round.
God,
Every
I
Saturday
loved
night we'd play
ground
the show.
round.
I
I would
do
drive
remember that.
into Mamaroneck. The only time I felt like I was going to another state. You know,
Right,
for
right,
me.
right. That's so
Now,
great.
I gotta ask. These drinks are unbelievable.
Yeah.
I would love to
Janet,
introduce you guys to Janet.
We have a couple of questions before
Want
we
me to hold the
wrap
bar
up.
while
Yeah.
Janet? Yeah.
I'll hold the bar.
Janet
I'll hold the
on.
bar, and I'll grab Janet. So 1 second.
This is. She called it an apple pie, and it's bourbon. It's apple infused bourbon,
Apple infused bourbon, yes.
and I don't know what
Some
else.
lemon juice, a twist of something. I don't know, but
Something.
it is very good. And
But it doesn't taste like alcohol.
It tastes
I'm gonna
like
get
an
drunk
apple
off of
pie.
this. Yeah, really
that's the
easily.
whole point, isn't it?
I guess so.
If you're gonna have a drink.
And then yours is good too. It's
I forget the name of it. I think she's gonna call it like an
that's
East-West
the thing. They feed us
spritzer.
these drinks, and then we can't talk about them because we've had these drinks. it's just a vicious
I
cycle,
don't know
and we're
what's
gonna
in
do it
here,
every
if
week.
It's like
so
champagne or lemon. I want her to come on and
I think she said
and tell us.
prosecco.
It's probably prosecco. Yeah.
Almost tastes like a champagne-y margarita.
Yeah.
Almost, you know.
But when I was in here on Saturday, I met John for the first time, and I was listening to Faded Vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
I watched her. When I ordered my French martini,
Yeah.
she measured everything. She made sure, she tasted the pineapple juice. She measured
Just sit down.
every little thing out to make sure that the drink would be perfect. And when I
Get up
saw
nice and
her,
close to the mic. Get close to the mic.
when I
Like right in
saw
front of you.
her mixing everything together, I knew. I was like, this girl has history as a mixologist.
Yeah, this is your thing, huh?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, tell us a little bit about your history. How did you get involved in mixing drinks?
Hi.
Hi.
Like I'm Janet.
Janet.
Janet from another planet. Well,
Perfect.
I would say like I've been in this industry. Like I think I was like born in it. Apparently, my grandfather was like a restaurateur back in the day, before the World War. I'm from the Philippines. Just in case you want to know. Well, I've been in this industry since I was like 17, 18.
You worked in the city. You started in the city.
Yeah,
right?
like I actually started back home in the Philippines. I started at the Western Philippine Plaza, and then moved on to like work in Hong Kong for 4 years.
Wow.
For this billionaire guy, working for like all this, like really fancy people.
Do you have like a
and-
science background or anything like that? Because I see
no, like
you mixing things together.
yeah, like I love I love mixing things up. Like I love creating things. I love to cook, so I think that's like where like I have that like interest of like when like flavors are getting like put together. I always relate that to actually like food. Just like you have like bacon and cheese would always go like really well together. Like
So
it's
you're
just
saying
like
there's going to be a bacon and cheese drink eventually?
maybe we will have like a bacon infused like like cocktail one of these days.
Cheeseburger martini.
Oh yeah, we can definitely do that.
So this is
Yeah.
apple
This is absolutely
infused
delicious.
bourbon, right?
Oh, thank you. That's actually like
What's it
one
called?
of like our infusions that I just started like last week. It's 6 days old right now. That's I'm calling it like the apple pie bourbon. So it's bourbon like infused with Granny Smith apples. You have like
Wow.
cinnamon, like clove in there.
This
So
is
all
like-
of the apples, like fall.
It's delicious.
Like,
This is one of the
spices.
best drinks I've ever had in my life. And you came up with
Oh.
this recipe yourself.
Thank you.
You're the mixologist, you're the doctor behind it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I'm mixing things up like as we go.
Of
Wow,
course.
this
Well,
is so good.
you're brand new. You just opened 6 weeks ago, and you're sort of feeling things out.
Yeah.
And what is in this one that I have here?
This one is my it's not the official name, but it's the East meets West sparkler. Because we'll be doing like a brunch, like cocktail menu soon as well.
Lemon,
this,
lime,
yeah,
prosecco.
this is limoncello. You have prosecco in there, and then you have calamansi juice, which is like a Filipino counterpart of lime and lemon. It's in between those two. It's really refreshing, but not like overly sweet. It's something that I would say
It's not
would
overly
go,
sweet.
Yeah,
It's very nice. It's very
would
refreshing.
go with anything.
Yeah.
And I noticed Chris had a very intricate cocktail as well. What was he drinking?
He's having the
Normally
really
the
delicious,
Guinness, but now it's a
the
Now it's a
Stella.
Stella.
Yeah.
Yes.
He loves bourbon as well.
Bourbon's good. I love bourbon.
So you started in the city, though. When you moved from the Philippines, you were in the city and you worked for.
I worked
TriBeCa
like
Grill? Did you
I
get
worked at
back to-
TriBeCa Grill. Like I worked like for Robert DeNiro. Like Drew Neocorant was our is still like our like main guy out there.
Okay.
He's the master of like everything that's going on at TriBeCa. He's definitely like an icon. And
Right.
then Robert
Oh, yeah.
DeNiro, oh my God, like the very first time I met him, I almost got in trouble.
Why?
Because like I didn't know that he was there, and I was in the kitchen like giving this instruction as this guy's in the kitchen, and then all of a sudden this guy like comes and he was in a hurry and like brushed me like literally just went like this, and I'm like, what? Like, who is this guy? And then thank
You didn't
God I didn't
recognize
say
him?
anything. No, he was like wearing a cap, and he was like in this like khaki like jacket. He was running away from the paparazzi and like,
Oh, he
almost
was?
yelled at my most favorite like actor of all time. It was crazy, but after that, like I've been making his like favorite like cocktail, which is a cucumber martini with Hendrix, and like we go through like a process for that. We have a bottle of Hendrix just like sitting in the freezer just for him.
Wow.
And everything is just like it has to be the right temperature. It has to be like those perfect like hue of like cucumber color in there, but nothing like like over the top, and I
So
guess like I made it well, so like I've been making it. I've made it for him like a bunch of times, so I guess he likes it.
So you have a lot of experience with dealing with difficult people and mixing.
Are you calling Robert De Niro difficult?
He's difficult.
No, he's not. No, he's like the sweetest guy.
I've worked with
ever.
actors. They're difficult.
So Janet, he wasn't difficult at all.
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
No, he's like.
He's a
super
very
duper
quiet
nice.
guy. He doesn't
Is he
speak
quiet?
much.
He's
Yes.
quiet. Like
He
he's
doesn't speak
very,
much.
he's very private for the most part. Yeah.
Guys, we're joined by Janet over at Bar'Lees, 157 Mamaroneck Avenue, Mamaroneck, New York, and of course, Christopher Brown. Before we wrap up, we need to do some
Quick
picks.
Oh, that's right. So this week coming up on Thursday, October 3rd, our friend Soul Shine, Allman Brothers tribute band, they're playing at Garcia's at 8 p.m.
Nice.
On Saturday, October 5th, the big event is the Dobbs Ferry Fiesta. That runs
What
at
is
1
that?
p.m. They closed down that whole street in Dobbs Ferry, Main Street.
Okay, yeah.
And all of the vendors and the shops and the bars all have tables outside along on the sidewalk. And it's basically a festa for
What
Dobbs
is
Ferry.
that?
That's on Saturday, October 5th.
I like that they're
Starts
still
at
doing festivals into the
1
fall.
p.m. and it's all about Dobbs Ferry and that town. Who's Your Daddy is playing. They go on usually at about 5 or 6 o'clock, and there's another band I think at 1 o'clock, and I'm drawing a blank right now of who they are. And then on Sunday, October 6th, is in Scarsdale. They have the Concours d'Excellence, which is a exotic car show in Scarsdale Village. Starts at 10:30 a.m. It runs until about 4 p.m. So Saturday, definitely check out Dobbs Ferry, and on Sunday, definitely take a walk to Scarsdale Village. And then when you're done with that, come over here and have some brunch at Bar'Lees, because Mamaroneck is happening.
It is.
This town is developing, and it's really great.
A couple quick picks, if I may.
You may.
Friday, October
Of course.
4th. Friday, October 5th. Judy Gold is going to be at White Plains Comedy Club. Friday, October 11th. Fred Rubino will be at White Plains Comedy Club. So go to whiteplainscomedy.com, out in Westchester.com.
Out in Westchester.
Lots
I
of
have
fun
your
stuff.
information on my website.
And another quick shout out, Christopher Brown. You can see him October 5th, Brody's, Mohegan Lake. October 6th, Palea Winery, Highland Mills. October 19th, Town Crier in Beacon. October 31st, right here, Bar'Lees in Mamaroneck.
ChristopherBrownMusic.com.
Yes, ChristopherBrownMusic.com.
Definitely get his new album.
The Brown album.
The Brown album.
Thank you.
Awesome.
As opposed to the White album, it's the Brown album.
Chris, any parting words?
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for all. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Again, guys, we're at Bar'Lees.
Thank you very much.
Unbelievable
John
drinks.
Lovelett.
Love the drinks.
Yes.
Really creative food. Check
Pizza's
this place
fantastic.
Awesome. Yes, please do come.
Things
We'll,
are changing. Definitely come and check this place out.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
And best
John.
wishes
Thank you.
going
This was
forward.
wonderful.
Yes.
Really, really nice.
Great to have
out.
you.
Thank you very much, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Thank you.